Man of the moment in Mumbai. Once a surprise pick 11 years ago, he's now Maharashtra's #1 leader. Sweep after sweep, records grow. This is the story of Maharashtra's Deva Bhau.
The BJP-led Mahayuti has done what many thought was politically impossible. It has conquered Mumbai's civic citadel, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, and with that Maharashtra now as what the BJP calls a triple-engine government. There is power in the centre, the state, and now the country's richest municipal body. Electoral outcomes like this do not happen overnight. They're usually the result of long organizational work, slow political positioning, and leadership that is shaped over time. Now, this moment of dominance is a political journey that has been over 3 decades in the making. And at the center of this political dominance is Devendra Fadnavis. Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX Explained. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Today we are taking a deeper look at the rise of the man who has become the BJP's most powerful face in Maharashtra. In 2014, a name seldom heard before suddenly burst into national headlines. A relatively low-profile BJP leader was chosen to lead his party in Maharashtra after years of organizational work in Nagpur with the RSS-linked ABVP. At 44, he became the second youngest Chief Minister of Maharashtra, a move seen then as a strategic gambit by the BJP to revamp its image in the state. Fadnavis' rise from municipal councillor and the youngest mayor of Nagpur to the Chief Minister's chair took many by surprise. A Karyakarta stepping into the top seat of India's second most populated state, let's begin where it all started. Devendra Fadnavis was born in 1970 in Nagpur, a city that has long been at the heart of the RSS's ideological system. His father, Gangadhar Rao Fadnavis, was associated with the Jan Sangh and later served in the Maharashtra Legislative Council. Fadnavis did his initial schooling at the Indira Convent School in Nagpur during the 1975 emergency. Fadnavis' father, being a member of the Jan Sangh, was imprisoned for participating in anti-government protests. Subsequently, Fadnavis refused to continue his schooling at Indira Convent as he did not want to attend a school named after Indira Gandhi, whom he held responsible for imprisoning his father. Pursuing a Bachelor's of Law degree from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar College, Nagpur University, he followed his father's footsteps and as a young student joined the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, the BJP's youth wing, in 1989. This didn't come as a surprise though to many, as Fadnavis' family members have long been involved in electoral politics. Both his father and aunt were members of the Bharatiya Janata Party and served in the state legislature. Devendra Fadnavis' work in the ABVP involved routine organizational tasks including mobilizing students, attending meetings, helping with events, and traveling for campaigns. Although this phase of his life did not come with visibility, it gave him familiarity with how the organization functions at the ground level. In the 1990s, Fadnavis began taking on more responsibility within the BJP's local unit in Nagpur. He was involved in election work, booth-level organization, and coordination between party workers and local leaders. Now, this was the period when the BJP was trying to expand its voter base in the state. Fadnavis thus worked patiently through the ranks, and by the mid-1990s, it had emerged as a promising young organizer in Nagpur. A landmark moment was witnessed in 1997, when at just 27 years of age, Devendra Fadnavis became the youngest mayor of Nagpur and the second youngest mayor in the history of India. As mayor, Fadnavis dealt with civic administration, budgeting and urban governance, which gave him experience that many politicians only acquire much later. For many, this was the first sign that the BJP had a leader in Maharashtra who combined ideology with administrative ability. However, for years after that, Maharashtra remained a difficult state for the BJP as power alternated between familiar players. The Congress-NCP alliance dominated state politics, and the Shiv Sena led by Balasaheb Thackeray had a sweeping sway at the grassroots. Thus, the BJP was often seen as a secondary force, dependent on alliances, especially with the Shiv Sena. Fadnavis, however, worked steadily within this framework. After his mayoral term, Fadnavis contested elections. He lost some and won others, but gradually built credibility as a dependable organizer and administrator. He was not a headline name during these years, but inside the party he was seen as someone who could be relied upon to execute strategy. It was this internal reputation which became important later. And in 2014, India's political map changed. Narendra Modi swept to power at the centre, and the BJP decided to fight the Maharashtra Assembly elections with unprecedented confidence. It even parted ways with the Shiv Sena. The fracture in the alliance resulted from disputes over the chief ministerial candidate of the alliance and the number of constituencies that each party will contest. When the results came in, the BJP emerged as the single largest party, followed by the Shiv Sena. Fadnavis took over as the legislative party leader of the BJP in the state after winning a vote by the newly elected BJP MLAs. Fadnavis was appointed CM on the 31st of October 2014. At just 44, he was undoubtedly young. In fact, the choice of Chief Minister surprised many outside the party. Fadnavis was not widely known across the state as he was not a mass mobilizer, but within the BJP he was seen as disciplined, administratively sound and politically steady. He thus had the full confidence of the party's central leadership as he was being sworn in as Chief Minister, a moment that marked a clear generational as well as political shift. Fadnavis' first term as CM focused heavily on governance and delivery. His government pushed digital reforms, introduced online service delivery platforms, emphasized infrastructure projects, and promoted an image of administrative efficiency. Major road projects, metro expansion, irrigation initiatives, and urban reforms became central to his pitch. Fadnavis completed his first term for the complete 5 years, making him only the second person in the state to do so after Vasantrao Naik in 1975. Devendra Fadnavis' story, however, may be incomplete without speaking of one of the most consequential political rifts in Maharashtra, and one that shaped his political journey 2019 onwards. Fadnavis and Uddhav Thackeray, once allies under the saffron banner, now locked in a rift that didn't just break an alliance but reshaped power equations in the state at large. For over 2 decades, the BJP and the Shiv Sena were inseparable in Maharashtra politics. While the BJP brought organizational strength, Shiv Sena brought Marathi identity and street power. In 2014, Devendra Fadnavis emerged as BJP's breakout leader. Young, assertive and trusted by New Delhi. Uddhav Thackeray, meanwhile, had just taken full control of Shiv Sena after Balasahab's death, but beneath the surface, tensions were brewing. The BJP's stunning performance in 2014 forever changed the balance of power. For the first time, the BJP was bigger than Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, with Devendra Fadnavis at the helm. Uddhav Thackeray initially stayed out of the government in a move seen as symbolic protest. The Sena felt reduced. The BJP felt it no longer needed Shiv Sena. This power asymmetry would later then explode. The real rupture, though, came in 2019. The BJP Sena fought together and won together. However, post-election, Uddhav Thackeray made a demand that stunned Delhi and Mumbai, proposing rotational chief ministership. The BJP, with Devendra Fadnavis as its face, flatly refused. What followed was political drama rarely seen: a midnight oath-taking, short-lived governments, and finally, a historic betrayal. Uddhav Thackeray crossed the ideological Rubicon, joined hands with the Congress and the NCP, became CM in November 2019. For Devendra Fadnavis and the BJP, this was unforgivable, and from allies, Fadnavis and Uddhav became political enemies. Despite losing the CM's chair, Devendra Fadnavis didn't retreat. Instead, he rebuilt BJP's organization, positioned himself as the principal opposition voice, and worked closely with the central leadership. For nearly 2.5 years, the BJP relentlessly targeted Uddhav's government on governance, corruption and ideological compromise. Then came the counter-strike. In June 2022, the political ground shifted again. Eknath Shinde rebelled, the Shiv Sena split and the Mahavikas Aghadi collapsed. Devendra Fadnavis returned to power as Deputy Chief Minister alongside NCP's Ajit Pawar. For Uddhav Thackeray, this was a double blow: loss of government and loss of party symbol and legislators. For Fadnavis, it was political vindication. Many called the position of Deputy Chief Minister to be a demotion for Fadnavis. Reports suggested that he was himself reluctant to take on the role until BJP National President JP Nadda stepped in. Nevertheless, his role in the government was considered key by political commentators in keeping a check on the Shinde-led Shiv Sena by the top BJP leadership. The 2024 legislative elections tilted power back towards the BJP. The party once again emerged as the single largest party, securing 132 seats, only short by 13 seats to form a majority government on its own. Other key allies like Shiv Sena and NCP also performed well, and Fadnavis was appointed as CM of the state for a third time on the 5th of December 2024. 12 days after the results were announced, both Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar took oath as the Deputy Chief Minister. Now Fadnavis is once again in the headlines, following the BJP's underlining of its position of preeminence in Maharashtra politics. The Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections saw it once again emerge as the single largest party, surpassing its 2017 record by winning 19 of 29 municipal corporations. Securing over 90 seats, the biggest factor behind the BJP's dominant display is being seen as none other than CM Devendra Fadnavis. He campaigned as if the local elections were assembly or parliamentary polls, addressing multiple rallies each day and hopping from one district to another, taking along a message of good governance and development agenda. The BMC elections have firmly placed the BJP and CM Fadnavis in pole position in the state's political pecking order. Neither a national rival like Congress nor regional heavyweights like the Thackerays and Pawars came close to the party and its state leader, rising from a Karyakarta to a chief minister, a three-time chief minister's strength.
Man of the moment in Mumbai. Once a surprise pick 11 years ago, he's now Maharashtra's #1 leader. Sweep after sweep, records grow. This is the story of Maharashtra's Deva Bhau.